It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Welcome to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark.
Yes, you are. I'm Juno.
Hey, buddy. All
Hi.
right, that's one. It's rubbing day, Cole says. So, what do you want to talk about? Is that what your man crush says? So, what do you guys want to talk about? All right. Well, we can go through the entire bracket, just the results.
Yeah.
Did you want to touch any of these breaking news from Andrew on the people leaving, or do you want me to go right through it?
I don't know about any of that news. So
Yeah.
if it's
Do you
if it
want to know?
do
I
I
mean, I don't even care until it happens. Nor honestly do I really care. I mean, to everyone, best wishes to him. And if Yuzuki is leaving, that just means Kurawa can be Stardom fans' new favorite rookie.
all I know is that there's this show happening in Philadelphia. Maybe you've heard of it. Stardom in the Keystone State. They're coming to America, and they're gonna have every single Joshi, not just in Stardom, but like the entire country of Japan and anyone related to Joshi Wrestling, Mariah May, Zaya Brookside,
Oh,
fucking
how cool is
every
that?
fucking Capital Saki, Ram Kachao, literally everyone who's ever wrestled in a Joshi ring, except the one wrestler that I actually want to pay money to see. But I'm just gonna hold out hope that Utami is a surprise participant.
Hey, you'll be all right. The return of Club Venus is worth the price of admission alone.
Dude, I wanted to see one wrestler. That's it. I'll let you guys
I
guess
thought you were I
which
thought you were
wrestler.
coming home with a kitty, not a kid. Oh God, with a cat, kitty, a Starlight Kid plushie.
A Starlight Kid plushie. Yes, I'm coming home with the kitty. So,
I like where Stardom is, anyways. I don't
oh,
really care who's leaving.
if Tokyo Sports reports it, does it become true?
I think
Oops.
one of these guys in the chat said it was on Stardom's official site. I haven't been on their news site in
Oh, really?
a couple days.
Let me check that out. I was gonna say
Sure.
if it's comes out on Tokyo Sports, I usually believe it. Yeah. So we'd like to inform you that the following players will leave Stardom due to their contracts expiring on March 31st, 2024. Yuzuki. Oh no, your favorite
That's why
rookie.
That's why I said, well, now officially, without needing to have a demotion, I'm not even mad at that. That means Kiss 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 Kurara can scoot right up to Stardom fans' favorite rookie, uncontested.
What did you just say?
Kiss Kiss Kiss.
金沢の皆さん大好きチュッチュッチュー
Choo choo choo.
Choo choo choo. Your favorite rookie's leaving. Mirai is leaving.
That's all
My
right.
my Sakurai,
That's all right.
Julia,
That's all right.
and Utami Hayashishida.
eh, they they always come back. Isn't that what they say? Maybe maybe she'll give you a reason to watch AEW.
So welcome to Joshi Fan
Don't be silly.
podcast.
I'm going down with the ship. Stardom's fine. They've been selling so many tickets. Nobody cares. Although they do gotta get rid of those tag belts or do something with it. Okada left, and they still had the trios belt. So now they're just doing a like a 1 day tournament or something for the for the belts. They're like, I guess sometimes you just leave and be like, fuck it. Who cares? Just threw my title in the trash.
Oh well, now I respect their president Okada a lot more. It's like, oh, you want to poach Julia? That's fine. You want Yuzuki? I'm like, okay, she's a rookie. Mirai, she is wrestling like her shoulder's gonna fall off. She's got a year left into at most wrestling the way she does. My Sakurai. Well, now you're starting to piss me off. Oh, you're going after our fucking ace Utami? Yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, fuck off. Or like, there's a taxi waiting outside. Your shit's all in the trunk. Bye bye. Dude, that's not even fair to. So, what is Yuzuki gonna have to face Utami for the world title? That's not very fair.
They're just gonna have Julia and I just feel bad for Utami. I was just hoping that the crazy old man was gonna build a wrestling company around Julia and Nene. I thought that was gonna be the recipe for success. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I mean, what are you gonna do, really? You know, people come, people go.
I think we're
It
joking.
happens.
I'm Rossi fan. This is the Rossi fan podcast now.
Well, you can grab the audio file. Does he even have other than speculation? Has the rubber hit the road yet on whatever's happening?
Other than I read that off of. They're definitely right. I read that off of their website, the Stardom News website.
Well, that people are leaving.
Yeah,
No one actually knows where anybody's going.
to Rossi's new company.
What's that called?
I
Where's he
don't.
wrestling? I know we don't know anything.
I don't
I don't
know.
even know that he has a company. He's probably wrestling in his backyard.
He's probably a really nice backyard.
He's probably got a hot tub with Nene hanging out. Hey, at least we have the Hanan sisters. We can, and plus the rookies. Stardom's fine.
Hey,
I'll tell you what.
you say you
I
wouldn't
was.
get people. You say you wouldn't get into the hot tub until someone says, "Hey, jump on in. The
Oh,
water's
I'd always get
warm."
in the hot tub.
Of course, you get into the hot tub.
We always get in the hot tub.
And then there's like, here's some champagne. You're like, whoa, I'm feeling dizzy. It's so hot in here.
Andrew's full of ideas. They did want to
And
do an
then all of a
NXT
sudden,
Japan pre-pandemic. I
Nene
can see
says
that.
she wants to interject you with some passion.
Oh no, no.
And you
Well, that
say,
sounds like dirty water.
well, who couldn't use more passion? Everything sounds better in a hot tub.
Everyone's always one drink away from hopping in the hot tub with Nene.
So now Utami is gonna be in this new wrestling company and still beating up on bitches in Stardom with Saya.
NXT Japan. That's what Richardson says. Which
I think that's called Tokyo Joshi.
I don't think anyone's doing anything with NXT. They wanted to get their mitts in Japan like right before the pandemic hit. From what I understand, the pandemic almost saved Stardom. Like I think they were working on some kind of deal or doing something. I mean, why make the facts right? Why let facts get in the way of a good story? But I
Um,
want to believe that's what I remember. Remember.
yeah, there's like reports of like Rossi going to WWE, and and that might have just been to try to get some like good talent. I don't know. Seemed weird. Although WWE, oh man, they got new management. Maybe with new owners, like they don't have the same beefs because WWE definitely tried to buy Stardom, and then he sold it for a lot less money, obviously, to Bushi Road. He's like, nah, I'm not selling to you guys.
Yeah.
so
We'll see what happens.
so if
I
they're
mean, if WWE, if they do end up with a WWE payroll, it's going to be, it'll make it a lot more interesting. That's for sure. If they do anything like they did in Europe, they'll just buy everybody's contract, whether they're using them or not, just to close everybody else down.
yeah,
Eh, well, whatever. We'll roll with the punches. But right now, I love my Stardom, and everything's been going good. All right. Well, do you wanna after? Well, that was the news. Uh, as long as we have the Cosmic Angels, everything is going to be a okay.
dude, if Seriano ends up doing that, kiss, 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 you know it's gonna get played on this show 1,000 times an episode.
I'm sort of surprised they haven't said Mayu's name yet. You know what?
Mayu,
It's at least they're
because
putting it right on Front Street. They're like,
Mayu
hey, these
has
people
a
are leaving. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's
well,
wrestling.
it's kind of their fault for having everyone. I think Mayu's literally the only one where they make a special case. It's Mayu or it's Stardom's fault for doing like 1 year contracts that all expire on the same date. That's their dumbass fault. Although
Yeah.
I guess when you don't have real competition, there's no need to do that.
Yeah, it might have just been the way they always did things. You know what? And another reason to not be worried. I'm going to tell you, I was worried. Like I didn't watch much New Japan. Uh, and until the New Japan Cup, I just loved it. I'm back in on that. And the only reason I bring that up is because they lost Okada, which I would have thought was a big deal. I mean, what am I going to do without watching 55-minute boring matches on
Oh,
once a month?
Japanese Cody.
Yeah.
So he tells
So
you
I mean,
he comes out when it's he looks exactly like Cody Rhodes. He's their new Cody. Comes out with the
oh,
bleach blonde hair and like the suits. He's got the chuckle buddies behind him like Cody used to have. It's like 2018 Cody Rhodes.
is that, oh, on AEW.
Yeah, he comes out with the Bucks behind him. He's in the suit.
Oh, that's probably entertaining. But I mean, they lose. Who else do they lose? I don't know. Yeah, Will Osprey, who I actually like, and Cody or and Okada, like two of the biggest names, arguably. And then they just put on one of the greatest tournaments I've ever seen outside of the Cinderella. So New Japan's going to be fine. Stardom lost, maybe losing their Okada and Utami, but they'll be fine. That just means take the extra money and sign up Saya long term, right?
So is well, I assume she's still gonna. How long is Utami gonna hold on to that tag team belt? She's gonna be extra fresh. I can't imagine whatever company she's going to is gonna have as many shows. Her and Saya should hold those tag team titles forever. Then, huh?
Well, I would just wait and find out if any. We should bring up a lineup for the next couple shows and see if they have a main event that's a tag team title match. I can't imagine Utami having the Aphrodite being the tag team champions for more than 10 days.
Why not? Who's gonna beat him? Who can beat him?
I don't know if they're gonna want someone to leave with their belt though.
Well, that's too bad. They have to find a big bad bitch who can beat up on Utami. Good luck with that. You're gonna bring in Rhea Ripley. You want to run through these results
Well,
first?
yeah, I wanted to do it for the podcast anyways, and I figured if nothing else, it'll spark conversation. So I was literally gonna say how I usually start it, so I don't have to edit it out later. This is Mark with Juno for StardomFan.com with just the results, plus probably a little commentary on the entire Cinderella 2024 tournament. Uh, First, give the first round buys. Mirai had a buy. Suzuki had a buy. Wakasukiyama, Hazuki, Mei Sierra, Ami Saroi, Azumi, and Mai Sakurai all had buys in this tournament. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That was a crapshoot on how that happened, but we're just gonna basically go left to right, um, and just do just the results. And if you have anything you want to touch on, please, by all means. Um, but the first match we have is Hanan, and in round one is Hanan versus Hanako, and Hanako. Boy, it's funny seeing these times. So that was a 6 minute and 30 minute, 6 minute and 30 second match where Hanan submits Hanako. And I feel like I thought it's one of those matches where it seemed like a 10-minute beatdown where Hanako just whooped her ass. But yeah, I don't have any notes, so it's all going on memory. It's like we have watched so much wrestling. This is a whole 2 weeks ago at this point, right? The second match in round one, Starlight Kid versus Stardom fans, the artist formerly known as Stardom fans' favorite rookie, Yuzuki. Starlight gets the pin. Starlight gets the pin. We got Juno's in charge of the morning zoo. Starlight gets the pin at 8 minutes, which ends up being the long. So Starlight and Yuzuki ends up being actually the longest match in round one. Xena versus the returning Momo Kogo. Momo Kogo gets her ass whooped, and then ends up with an injury again. If I recall, at 3 minutes and 39 seconds is all that took.
Yeah, you do not want to fight Xena. She'll kick your ass with a pretty smile on her face.
Yeah, yeah, she sure as
She
hell
doesn't even break a
well, and she
sweat.
sure as hell did. No. No, she did this for sure. Uh, Koguma and Ruaka. Uh, Koguma advances when Baraka cheats, hits Koguma with everything, and then punches the ref in the face. That's about what happened, right?
Yeah.
Saki Kashima pins Saya Ida.
Is that an
Nope,
ups
wrong.
is that an upset?
Did I say that wrong? I said that wrong. Saida pins Saki Kashima. That's the upset.
There you go.
4 minutes and 42 7 seconds. Yuna Mizumori in another upset. Our original favorite to win the entire thing. Yuna Mizumori beats Lady C. 5 minutes with a pin. Oh, you know what? I got it wrong. The Ruaka Koguma thing. Ruaka beats Koguma by dumping her over the top rope. I remember she hit her over the top rope, and then the ref was distracted, so Momo came and took Koguma's legs out with a baseball bat, which seemed to be the play of the tournament for Ruaka. I'm sure Ruaka's box got involved. That big old box just being swung around all willy nilly like, very unladylike. Uh, Back to round one. I That's why I got confused because Natsuka Tora ends up losing to Sayaka Kurara, Stardom fans' new favorite rookie.
金沢の皆さん大好きチュンチュンチュン
With a DQ at 3 minutes, this is the match where Tora cheated and Baraka's box probably came back. There's baseball bats, and then Tora punched the ref in the face, and Sayaka Kurara gets a win in her first tournament, right? Fantastic. Miyu Amasaki closes out round one by beating Rana Yagami easily.
Easily.
Juno on to round two. Hanan goes up against a fresh Mirai. And this is like the next day, I believe. Uh, so Hanan gets her butt kicked by Hanako. The next day goes up against the reigning, defending, undefeated Cinderella, two-time champion, Mirai. And Hanan pins her. And this I don't, when we're all done we can go over it, but I think this was still the best match of the entire tournament by far. Mariah Hanan was fantastic. Uh, and you could tell by the time they were done, Hanan was happy to win. She was crying, Mariah was crying, and it's not going to be the first time Mariah cries after a Hanan match.
True.
The next match is actually really scary because it's Starlight Kid versus a well rested Suzu Suzuki. And this like is one of those matches where we're just like, oh man, please Starlight, please Starlight, please Starlight. And after 12 minutes and 36 seconds, yes, Star Starlight Kid eliminates Suzu by dumping her over the top rope.
No, she doesn't dump her over the top rope. She's sitting on the apron. She gives her a baseball slide and kicks her to the front row like trash.
I was gonna say something about trash, but I was trying to say classy. But I do like that.
And that is actually the second person that got a first round bye and then lost their first match. Will that continue?
Waka
Yes.
Tsukiyama gets a bye, and she goes up against Xena. 5 minutes and 32 seconds later, Xena beats Waka. So far, if you got a first round bye, you're in a lot of trouble. It's almost like last year's baseball playoffs. Ruaka versus Zuki, and Hazuki coming off a bye also loses. She gets eliminated by the top rope. More shenanigans, Ruaka's box, baseball bats, the awesome Oedo tie stuff that we all know and love. Mi Sierra with a first round bye goes up against Saya Ida, and she wins. So the curse is over. The first round bye curse is over. Mi Sierra beats Saya Ida. Next up, we have Ami Soroi up against Yuna Mizumori, and this is probably like what on this half of the bracket, like Ami, needs to keep going, right? So Ami beats the pineapple handily. We have Azumi versus Sayaka Kurara. Azumi wins. Kurara had a moment or two, but Kurara went through a rookie mistake. She went through the spear. Azumi jumped over her, sushi eater, Azumi stuff. Miyu Amasaki, our
Yes.
favorite pineapple, beats my Sakurai,
That makes sense
and
to
that's
nobody who listens to this.
well, most of our. There's this one time, Miyu Amasaki wore pineapple glasses, and now it makes sense to you. Pineapple Miyu.
Sure.
We have the quarterfinals. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and at this point, I mean, uh, the only person you really don't want to see winning is Azumi, right? But we have Hanan versus Starlight Kid. Any one of these two going on is fine by me. It's a fine match, not as good as Hanan versus Mariah, in my opinion, but Hanan
Well, yeah,
pins
because
Starlight.
Starlight lost. Of course, it's not as good.
Xena up against Ruaka, more shenanigans. Ruaka and her box makes it to the semifinals versus Hanan. Yeah,
Zeta should have won, and then it would have been the most impressive Cinderella tournament ever if she would have had to made her way through big ass Hanako, big ass Mirai, Starlight Kid, Xena. Oh, that would have been a lineup. Said she got. Well, we'll get to it. It was Raka. I guess you could argue that it's more impressive having to have like an 8-on-1 when all of Oedo Tai jumps in.
that, that is true. Hanan's trip to the semifinals and then finals is definitely the hardest road that anyone took. Xena would have Xena. She'll end up fighting Xena sooner or later, wouldn't you think? Because that would be a fun freaking match.
Xena would have crushed her.
And then Hanan would have just found a way to roll her up. That's what she does. She just finds a way. In the quarterfinals on the other side, May Sierra versus Ami Soroy. And Ami pins the high speed champion. That is fantastic. Oh no, she top rope elimination. Some of these I don't remember exactly how the top ropes happened. Did she power bomb her to the front row? Is that the story we want to go with? Because I
Yeah.
don't exactly remember. Yeah. Zumi versus Miyu. This is where it gets scary.
All right.
This is Zumi gets by Miyu Amasaki, and Azumi makes it to the semifinals. Semifinals are Hanan and Ruaka versus Ami and Azumi. And these are both in one show, which is sort of fun too. They did the semifinals, and then after a little bit of rest, a couple matches, they ended up doing the finals. And I spent the entire day because I knew we were going to watch the show last night. I spent the entire day yesterday just convincing myself that I would be okay. And then I did convince myself after a little meditation and all that that if Ruaka and her box won, that would be fine. I actually convinced I was like, it's been a while since a bad guy won, right? I could see Ruaka wearing the dress, carrying the box. It only makes sense.
Should have
I
a
was
place
ready
for a
for it.
trophy.
Absolutely right, but that wasn't going to happen because Hanan beats Ruaka and she got her ass kicked. There is an honorable mention. Oh, wait, see, that's the thing. Wait, Tai, they rush out like House of Torture style, right? They rush out and they're always cheating and beating them up. But finally, someone stepped up and not the whole Stars team, but they didn't need the whole Stars team. Hazuki comes out, clears house, dives through everyone, knocks down a Wado tile like a bunch of bowling pins. Now it's finally one-on-one Ruaka and Hanan. I mean, Hanan at one point did get like Ruaka's box right to the face. So I mean, she was definitely down and out for a minute. Hazuki did, have the assist counter the cheating. But then when it ended up being one-on-one again, Hanan gets the pin on Ruaka. Juno in the other semifinal match, it's Ami and Azumi, and I am terrified. Well, one, I'm like the only match that makes sense for the finals at this point is if Hanan versus Ami. They love hitting each other, so we just need to see this because I don't think we ever have other than tag matches. So Ami and Azumi, and it was close. Ami even kicked out of an Azumi sushi or 15 because Ami's just way better than Azumi, right?
Mm-hmm.
11 minutes 35 seconds. Ami pins Azumi, and in the finals of the Cinderella 2024, we have Hanan and Ami. What do you think about the tournament so far? Amazing, right?
I don't know. It definitely flew by. That's for sure. Which I don't know why I'm complaining. I used to like it when it was one night. So, but it's like it's a lot of wrestling. And then you look at the times and you're like, what is the longest match? Is the longest match the final? No, Ami versus Azumi.
Yeah.
11:35 is the longest match. Wow.
They do a lot of stuff for those 11 minutes, I tell you. In the finals, and we have Hanan versus Ami. At this point, we're going into it, we're about to watch it, and I say I'm not going to be mad either way. I prefer Hanan, but I'm not going to be mad. And if I can find the clip to put in post right here, I'll put I bet you Hanan wins. Actually, I might have never said that. I probably had a cop out. I think I actually said the winner of last week that the winner, no, 2 weeks ago when we did it, I probably said the winner of Mariah and Hanan will win the whole thing. Which it doesn't take a genius to say that. I should have just stuck to my guns and said Hanan's going to win, but I sort of wanted Mariah to three-peat.
So when you pick two Cinderella winners, like, you just double your odds.
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, but when you pick the two favorites, right? We have Hanan and Ami. Hanan wins. That's it. What do you say? This was my second favorite match of the tournament. Actually, it was close. They hawked up a couple times. There were suplexes. It was a fine pro wrestling match. I don't think it was Hanan and Mirai amazing, but it was like close to amazing. And Hanan wins. Hanan's the Cinderella. She comes out. She says she's interested in the white belt. Hanan or Mariah, look at me. I'm a Cinderella. Backstage, she says she's gonna go for the white belt. Oh, this she says 2024 is the year of Hanan. There's only one problem.
She's not very
Like,
good.
no,
Wow.
she's amazing. The bigger problem is the white belt champion just happens to be Sariato. I th- I think Hanan would have a better chance of being the red belt champ. She should, she said, Micah, I challenge you. I mean, that's happened like 3 times in history, right? That Cinderella challenging for the red belt.
The stats are crazy. It's like 20%. Like people mostly fail.
Oh, look at this. Hi, Raymond. I liked rocking our boxes tournament. Hi, Enigma. We did say Izumi 3 times. We said what a wonderful tournament she
Oh,
had.
yep, definitely
She
right.
was really close, and it was an upset that she didn't make it.
12:36. I didn't read that one. Yeah, Suzu and Starlight Kid had the longest match, which is crazy. 12:36. Still
Oh well,
not.
that was the bathroom break, so I only saw 5 minutes of it, so I didn't realize.
That's still like not even longer than most of their high speed matches.
Oh, did I touch on that? Well, what do you think? Well, real quick, then I'll ask you. What did you think about the? Now that we talk about, it, what do you think about the tournament as a whole? Where do you think? Like this was sort of some rookie class in here that was really good. I think Ami beating May Sierra if she's interested. I mean, you beat the champion. Ami should get a high speed chance. She could probably work fast for the first minute, which is all you really need to do.
She beat the supposed greatest high speed wrestler ever in 11 minutes. Azumi.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
before
she beat
that, she beat the high speed champion. And before that, she turned a pineapple into pineapple juice.
the.
Yeah, I mean, the only rule I don't think there's a weight limit. I think the only rule is like the time limits are halved, so it's like high speed. You have to move twice as fast. There's nothing like let all these little gnats try to run around the ring to do something to her, and then or Hanako, like Hanako has been turned into King Kong, which just screams on the top rope. Have her be the
How
high
cool is
speed
that?
champ. Like have all these little girls try to run into her and see. Like she'll just stand there in the middle of the ring, swatting them away.
That's cool. That was almost what was great about.
That's my take. That like you Stardom can just have that for free. Like you don't have to have these tiny little. Like you can put a giant monster as a high speed champ every once in a while.
That's what was fun about Kashima being high speed champion. It was almost like an oxymoron.
Well, she did.
But what did you think in general? I mean, because I mean, I was so pumped going into it. I was saying this is my favorite time of the year, other than Shimi season, and quite frankly, I don't think it disappointed. I was happy. I liked all of it. I even got into Rocca's box. I like Natsuko losing because she was disqualified. That's good stuff.
I mean, I can rant and rave, but it's not really important unless you want me to. I don't even know if it's worth talking about. I was gonna like do a rant. And I'm like, I got it down on like paper. I'm like, let me get my like thoughts out on paper, and I'm like, I don't even know if it's worth it.
You took the time to put it on paper. That's fine. I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do. Well, that was that. We had some news. We had the tournament. I'd be interested in seeing.
I tell you what, some of those
What's
shows
up?
had me wishing for uh let's call it Rossi fans, whatever his new company's gonna be. Some of these shows had me wishing for Rossi's new company before I knew my favorite wrestler was jumping ship.
Oh,
All right, fuck it. I'll talk about it. So they actually got the 2 nights before the final up on time on their website, which
oh, it was awesome.
usually you get
Yeah, we
stuff
did.
spoiled because they have the pay-per-view that's live, but they don't put the shows before it until like a week after because they're just so far behind.
That
So
has happened in the past, and it is worth. I am glad you brought that up. We spend so much time bitching about their upload schedule. That's really the biggest complaint I normally have is their website that I pay for and subscribe to being a horrible service. But this past weekend, it wasn't.
um yeah, I mean if your only thing you care about is getting the shows up and watching them on time, which what else would you care about? Then yeah, it was awesome. But I don't feel like we should have to I don't want to it just sounds like an abused spouse. Like you shouldn't have to settle for like to get stuff uploaded at a normal actual to get stuff uploaded when it's supposed to be uploaded. You have to cut the quality of your stuff that you've been uploading the same way for years and years and years to like absolute shit. So
What was shittier about the quality? I just didn't notice it, but I might have just I was too busy having fun.
now
There's some things I just don't notice.
I'm not saying I don't like the extra camera angle because I've always said like, hey, I want to be able to see what's going on the outside. So having a camera all the way up in the bleachers, fine. That's usually they have these buildings that have 6 stories for some reason and they're all out on the floor. So cool. Get a camera up there. But they have this camera way up in the back of the bleachers. Everyone is like the size of a pinprick where they have to zoom in these cameras so the quality is terrible. Like every time they move the camera, it's like shaky because it's like someone filming with their phone. There was only like one. There's actually 2 camera angles, but really one because they were both next to each other. They couldn't get a guy on the floor. They were both next to each other, so one of them just stayed standing still, and the other one tried to zoom in. They were both terrible. Um, this is a specific complaint just about like how they do shows. Where I was just thinking, do I ever need to watch a match that has someone like Lady C or Walk in it? It's like or some of these rookies, like, yeah, their team's gonna lose. Skip that on the like. What's even the point of those matches? You can just skip those. Also,
I usually find them entertaining, and sometimes when they win, it's special.
yeah, but they don't win. So unless they're facing each other, it's so like I don't even bother with those matches anymore. And unless it's like they're in the main event, but then then the only time it's interesting is when they do like the main event and it's like an 8-person tag and you're like, all right, well, who's gonna lose? Is it gonna be Waka or is it gonna be Lady C? Like you don't know who's gonna lose. It's like, but when they're in their matches, like where it's like just a singles match or a trios, I'm like, those matches are pointless. Like, come on, you can do better. Also, these were branded as Cinderella shows, but the Cinderella matches aren't on last, which is fine. I know it's like a little pet, like I'm just like nitpicking here, but if it definitely does diminish the tournament a little bit, which is fine if they're rebranding it as sort of like this is to like bring up new stars. That's cool. But you would think like what would go on in its place would be something more important, not just a random like 8-person tag match. Also, another pet peeve that was annoying me. Like, I want to watch these Cinderella matches, and they're like, it's like schizophrenia how they're booked, where it's like, here's a Cinderella match. All right, now here's a Cinderella match. Now wait 3 more matches. Here's another Cinderella match. I'm like, can you just like put them in a block? Like, they just felt like regular matches this year for me, when like they're just scattered throughout the show. um, and if the Cinderella tournament wasn't going to be on last, like you would think when maybe like the Wonder of Stardom champion would maybe be on the main event. Nah, she's just slapped in the middle of the show in an 8-woman tag. Well, maybe the world champion can go on last. It's like, well, no, the world champion can't go on last because she doesn't really have a challenger. Oh, she didn't have a match scheduled actually, and she doesn't really have a challenger because they never really bothered to build up their world title match. Because why would they? It's just their world title. I mean, there's all, which is crazy because like Micah and Utami have like a whole crap ton of history, which I could get into, but I'm not going to because Stardom doesn't think it's important enough to tell you what it is. So why should I? So they didn't deem. Oh, that's another thing. Their quality, like to get these shows up, they couldn't take the 2 minutes to. They had Utami and Micah get in the ring and like face to face do a promo, but they didn't feel like they needed to add subtitles. So I'm not gonna look up what that is either because that's not important to Stardom apparently.
I get used to that, and that's
It's-
basically I've been watching Japanese wrestling since 2017, and unless Chris Charlton's happens to be there, which isn't every show, you just sort of deal with the fact that you're watching a show in a different language.
I just I I don't know.
It is
I
a
feel like
different country and a different language. That's
I feel like they could do better. Like I'm not like saying like, oh wow, they got these shows up before the pay per view. Like that's not the bare minimum requirement. Like good job. Like did you have to like it took you having to cut all your especially when I saw people on the apron with cameras. So they literally just said, well, look, I'm sure it takes time to like edit this stuff together. Which I'm not even mad about the camera angles, but other stuff, it's like you could do better. They could do better. Like either you can pay people in production what to get paid to hire the people in production you need to get this stuff like uploaded at like the right times, or you can like update your tour schedule to fix it. Is my opinion.
well said.
There, I didn't even rage.
No, you had a beautiful editorial.
I just
What
pulled
else would you like to go over? Otherwise, we could call it a beautiful evening. I feel like we have accomplished a lot. I personally loved every second of the Cinderella. I'm such a mark, I don't notice camera angles. However, I have noticed that WWE's camera angles don't make me dizzy anymore since Dunn isn't there. That's the only camera angle I noticed.
because you got to
See,
cut.
I'm a weirdo. I just love that Japanese style because New Japan will do that too. They'll be in a place and they'll just have one camera and just sit there. Like they've actually had shows where I don't even think they had anyone manning it. They just would have the hard cam and wrestle. I don't know. It makes you feel like you're there. I'm a weirdo like that.
Because you got to
Look at this.
cut the camera back to show that the
There's a little
guy's.
charm.
You got to you got to like use the one. You got to be looking at the guy who's winding up the punch so you can see he's gonna punch. Then you got to cut to the side so you can see the punch in motion. Then you got to like
Yeah.
cut to show the other guy
Mhm.
like flinching, who's going to react to the punch. But we don't actually want to show the punch because these guys don't know how to punch anymore. So now you got to cut back to the other guy. But then you got to cut back to the guy's reaction to the punch. Then you got to cut back to the. It's like, oh my god.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's what made me. That's well. Other than I'm a fan of
Dude,
strong style.
it got so bad
I love.
where it got so bad I would count. Like there's like one Bobby Lashley match where I would count like 40 to 50 camera changes in a minute. Like, ugh.
Well, not only that, the camera used to have the camera sell the punches. Like for a strike, they'd shake the camera.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I think it's
like
a happy.
seriously?
I think it's a happy accident where they're trying to film the punches. I do appreciate that about like New Japan and Stardom, where they just keep the cameras on the wrestlers the whole time. Like, yeah, it's like our job is to film the athletes.
And I rarely see blatant misses. Every now and then, again, there's a phantom kick, maybe, but not too
I
often.
mean, if you don't know how to throw a good punch or kick, you shouldn't be wrestling in front of fans yet. Dude, we
What do you
have.
have? Anything? Andrew Richardson. What do you have? Super producer number two.
All we're
He's
missing
got a lot of
is
stuff.
all we're missing is Jesse, and we have a full Club Venus reunion for this Stardom show in Philadelphia.
No, how's there no Jesse? Is Jesse going to be at Spark?
I don't know, dude.
It
Jesse
would be.
is awesome.
It's crazy she wouldn't be there.
金沢の皆さん大好きチュンチュンチュン
I got nothing more.
That's it. I'll put the outro at the end, and where I thank our patrons, Chicken. It's a Stardom fan, and Jake Ebert is the World of Stardom Fan champion. Everything we do, you can find at StardomFan.com. If you're listening on the podcast, our award-winning YouTube links are there. Join our Discord and follow all these crazy people who quack at you. And that's about it. Would you
I'm
like to
about to go
promote
down to
anything?
Taco Bell and give me a Baja Blast.
I have like 3 cases of Baja Blast in my garage right now. I was like, I can't get enough of that shit. It is liquid crack.
Oh, it's probably in there.
Maybe, right? I don't know how you get that fluorescent blue color. It's delicious. Anything you would like to promote?
StardomFan.com, baby.